Good day, class. I am speaking to you from Dallas, Fort Worth, actually Crowley, Texas. My family has come out here to your stomping ground to see the total eclipse of the sun, which, as I'm recording this, is supposed to happen later today, as this is the wee hours of Monday morning. But welcome to BC 3306, Methods of Biblical Change, where we teach you about the sufficiency of Scripture, progressive sanctification, and Bible's instructions on how to grow and change. Each week we do this short video reviewing last week's assignments, going over this week's assignment, and a sneak peek at next week so you know what's coming. Every week you've got reading, you've got notes, you've got textbooks, you've got other resources, audios, videos to watch from ACBC certified teachers and authors, as well as the training center at Faith Baptist of Palm Bay, Florida. Every week you got a journal to write about all that you're consuming, and a discussion board about one of the topics you've read about or watched or listened to. Quizzes every single week, and short written assignments, 1 to 2 pages each week. This is from the syllabus on how the grades will be calculated. That hasn't changed. There's a total possible 1,000 points for you, and this is the schedule that shows you have a journal, a quiz, a discussion, and a paper each and every week. So every week is just like the other weeks. So last week was week number 3. You had part 3 of Jay Adams' book on how to help people change. This was about conviction predominantly. Jeremiah 17:5 through 8 was a part of your reading passage that you were to journal about. And Where Your Treasure Is, an article from Bible.org, based on Matthew 16:19 through 21. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So a little self-examination was to be done in the discussion board about that. And the video on key elements, focusing in on data gathering and evaluating that data biblically. The short written paper was based on the paper that you read about Where Your Heart Is, and a discussion about what the Bible means about the word heart and inner man. And you were to complete the journal and the discussion board and quiz number 3. As always, I included the links to the video, both in this PDF, in the notes, as well as directly into Canvas under the module for week 3. And the discussion board in more detail was to examine your own heart. And what is it you find when you look at the treasures that you have in your heart? What do you spend your time thinking about when you have idle time? How do these treasures hold you back from a closer relationship with the Lord? How do they hold you back from making necessary changes in your life? And in respect to your fellow classmates, we didn't want you to get into gory details, but some specificity was appreciated. And then put those findings in the discussion board for others to read and comment upon. And then the short written paper was based on the dictionary definition of the word heart and the scripture reading from Jeremiah 17:5 through 8 to describe how and when the Bible uses the term heart to mean the inner man and not that pumping organ in the middle of your chest. Asked you to follow the rubric, as always, write a good thesis statement, good crisp introduction, body that makes several points, and a conclusion that references all the things you just said. So this week, we're on to week number 4. You'll be reading part 4 of Jay Adams' book, How to Help People Change. This is about step 3 in the process, which is correction. So you've had understanding the biblical principles, the conviction of the heart, and then how to correct the heart. Then I also ask you now to read chapter 1 in the book by Jim Neuheiser, small little booklet called Help I Want to Change. And this chapter is called Unbiblical Methods Lead to Failure. And read the definition of empathy from Wikipedia. And to read Present and Powerful Love, an article by John Piper at the desiringgod.org webpage. So the short written paper will be based on a paper by an essay by Jim Neuheiser titled Talk to Me, Don't Text Me. You'll be journaling about all of these 4 things, so I expect to see 4 separate complete sets of questions that you journal on. And the discussion board, which I'll go over in a moment, and of course quiz number 4, because there's a quiz every week. For the discussion board, due on Thursday by midnight, in a half to 1 page essay, write about a time when you remember someone corrected you in a biblical way, and share with the class the impact that this made on your life and your future ministry, and post your paper for others to see, and then comment on someone else's. Your short written paper will be based on the article Talk to Me, Don't Text Me by Jim Neuheiser, to be found at the biblicalcounseling.com link that you see right there. And based on the paper, write a 1/2 page short paper indicating that you agree with the premise or disagree with the premise, that it is better to correct someone in person rather than in writing in some fashion. Whether it's a letter or text, it doesn't matter. And then list several pros and cons of correcting persons as you make your case. And be sure to follow the rubric as always. Need a good introduction, thesis statement, good conclusion. Discipline training in righteousness is the topic here in week number 5 as we sneak peek towards next week. You'll be reading part 5, chapters 16 through 20 by J. Adams on how people change, and this will be about step 4, discipline training in righteousness. And then read chapter 2 in Jim Neuheiser's little book, The Gospel is the Key to Change, in Jim's book, Help, I Want to Change. And then read the introduction and part 1, Reasons to Rehearse the Gospel Daily, in the book by Milton Vincent, titled A Gospel Primer for Christians Learning to See the Glories of God's Love. So you got 3 different sources for reading this time. And then I have an audio by Randy Patent titled Homework That Maximizes Change. And I've made the outline for that available to you, so as you listen to it, you can be filling in the blanks in the outline. It'll save you some time taking notes if you do that. Then there's a short written paper based on the topic, what is righteousness? Is it even possible? And we ask that you complete your journal on all 4 of the things that you're consuming here. So again, 4 complete independent sets of answers to the personal application questions. And quiz number 4. So, discussion board. I want you to listen to a podcast by Rick Thomas titled, If You're Serious About Change, Do These Things. It is at the lifeovercoffee.com webpage. It's one of his podcasts from last year. In a 1/2 to 1 page essay, write what you believe are the top 3 out of the 9 that presented by him. What are the top 3 most important things that a Christian would want to change, who wants to change, should do? Post your paper for the class to see by Thursday and respond to a classmate by Saturday. Then for your short paper, based on the reading of section 5 in J. Adams' book, How to Help People Change, that title of that chapter is Discipline Training in Righteousness. Write a 1 to 2 page short paper defining righteousness and explaining how it is or is not possible. Use scripture to make your case, and be sure, as always, to follow the rubric. God bless you as you complete week 4, which is coming up, which was this coming week, so that'll get you halfway through block D on this course. So God bless you, and hope you all had a wonderful eclipse experience, since I believe you guys live in the proper area where you had some totality. Hopefully it wasn't too cloudy. As for my family, we're going to find out here in a few hours what the weather's going to look like and whether it allows us to see that eclipse. God bless you, and talk to you again next week.